Have you ever heard a story so captivating, so mysterious, that it feels like it must be true? For thousands of years, one such tale has echoed through history, a whisper of a lost paradise swallowed by the sea. Today, we're diving deep, deeper than any ocean trench, into the heart of the legend of Atlantis. Our story begins not in the depths of the ocean, but in the mind of one of history's greatest thinkers, the ancient Greek philosopher Plato. Around 360 BC, in his dialogues, Timaeus and Critias, Plato introduced the world to an island nation of unimaginable power and sophistication. He didn't present it as a myth, but as a genuine historical account, passed down through generations. According to Plato, Atlantis was a formidable naval power located beyond the Pillars of Hercules, which we now know as the Strait of Gibraltar. This wasn't just some small island. It was a vast continent, larger than Libya and Asia combined. Its founders were said to be half god, half human, creating a society that was both noble and powerful. Imagine a city of concentric rings of land and water, connected by massive canals and bridges, wide enough for ships to sail through. Palaces gleamed with gold, silver, and a mysterious fiery red metal called orichalcum, said to be more precious than gold. The temples were immense, dedicated to Poseidon, the god of the sea, who was the patron deity of Atlantis. The soil was so fertile that crops were harvested twice a year, and the island was home to a diverse range of animals, including elephants. The Atlanteans themselves were described as a marvel. They were brilliant engineers, architects, and artists. Their military was unmatched, with a vast army and a fleet of over 1,000 warships. For generations, they lived in harmony and virtue, their society a perfect model of justice and prosperity. They were the envy of the world, a true utopia. But as with many stories of great power, a shadow began to creep in. Over time, Plato tells us, the divine nature of the Atlanteans became diluted. Greed and ambition replaced their once noble spirit. They began to look beyond their perfect island, their hearts filled with a desire for conquest. They set their sights on the known world, launching a massive campaign to enslave Europe and Asia. Their first target? Athens, Plato's own city-state, which he depicted as the pinnacle of human virtue and courage. The ancient Athenians, though outnumbered and eventually abandoned by their allies, stood firm against the mighty Atlantean Empire. They fought not for riches or power, but for freedom. And in a stunning turn of events, they repelled the invaders, liberating the peoples that Atlantis had already conquered. But the final judgment on Atlantis came not from man, but from the gods. Angered by their hubris and moral decay, the deities unleashed a cataclysm of unparalleled fury. In a single terrible day and night of violent earthquakes and floods, the island of Atlantis, with all its magnificent cities, its people, and its memory, was swallowed by the sea, vanishing forever beneath the waves. And that's where Plato's story ends, quite literally. His dialogue, Critias, cuts off mid-sentence, leaving the tale tantalizingly incomplete. This abrupt ending has only fueled the mystery for centuries. Was Plato telling a true story, a historical record passed down from Egyptian priests? Or was it a cautionary tale, a philosophical allegory about the dangers of pride and the ideal nature of a state? For nearly 2,000 years, most scholars viewed Atlantis as just that, a fable, a brilliant piece of fiction created by Plato to illustrate his political theories. But then, in the late 19th century, something shifted. The world entered a new age of exploration and discovery. Ancient cities like Troy, once thought to be purely mythical, were unearthed, proving that some legends had roots in reality. Suddenly, people began to ask, what if Plato was right? What if Atlantis was real? This question ignited a firestorm of speculation that continues to burn brightly to this day. A global treasure hunt began, with theorists and explorers proposing locations all over the world. Could Atlantis have been the Minoan civilization on the island of Crete? Around 1600 BC, the nearby volcanic island of Thera, now known as Santorini, exploded in one of the largest eruptions in human history. The blast triggered massive tsunamis that devastated the Minoan coast, potentially leading to the collapse of their advanced civilization. The circular shape of the Santorini caldera even mirrors Plato's description of the Atlantean capital. It's a compelling theory, fitting the timeline and the catastrophic end. But what about beyond the Mediterranean? Some have looked to the Bahamas, pointing to the strange underwater rock formation known as the Bimini Road. Could these be the remnants of an ancient Atlantean highway? Others suggest the Azores, a group of volcanic islands on the mid-Atlantic ridge, which fits the beyond the pillars of Hercules description. Theories have even placed Atlantis in Antarctica, under the ice, or in the Caribbean, swallowed by the Bermuda Triangle. The idea of a lost, technologically advanced civilization has captured the imagination of not just explorers, but writers, artists, and filmmakers. From Jules Verne's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea to Disney's animated classic, Atlantis has become a cornerstone of our modern mythology. It represents a lost golden age, a world of wonders that we long to rediscover. It speaks to the part of us that hopes there is more to our history than we've ever been told, that incredible secrets are still waiting to be found. So, where does that leave us? Was Atlantis a real place? A casualty of a natural disaster of epic proportions? Or was it a masterful political allegory? A timeless warning from one of history's greatest minds about the corrupting influence of power? The scientific and historical consensus still leans towards allegory. There is no definitive archaeological evidence, no sunken continent found on any sonar scan, that points to a real Atlantis as described by Plato. The story's details seem perfectly crafted to serve his philosophical points, contrasting the corrupt, wealthy empire with the virtuous, simple state of ancient Athens. But the absence of evidence isn't evidence of absence, as the saying goes. The ocean is vast and deep, and we have explored less than 20% of it. Who knows what secrets the abyss still holds? Perhaps the true power of the Atlantis story isn't about whether it's fact or fiction. It's about what it represents, the eternal human struggle between virtue and greed, the fragility of even the greatest civilizations, and our unending fascination with the unknown. It's a story that encourages us to look at our own world and ask if we, too, are at risk of letting our ambition outpace our wisdom. The legend of Atlantis is a mirror, reflecting our hopes for a lost paradise and our fears of a self-inflicted doom. It is a deep dive not just into the ocean, but into the very nature of humanity itself. And that is a journey that will never truly end. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into the legendary tale of Atlantis. What do you think? Was it a real place or a brilliant story? Let me know your theories in the comments below. If you enjoyed this exploration of history's greatest mysteries, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next adventure. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.